Okay, let's talk about productivity. If you've ever felt like you're just drowning in a sea of tasks, tips, and so-called life hacks, you are absolutely in the right place. Today, we're going to cut through all that noise and build a straightforward guide to getting the right things done. I mean, does this sound familiar? Your day is packed, you're always on the move, but at the end of it all, you look back and wonder, what did I actually accomplish today? You're trying to balance work, family, personal goals, and it's just a lot. It feels like the advice itself is just one more thing on your to-do list. And this really gets to the heart of it. As one Reddit user perfectly put it, reading about productivity can make you very unproductive. It's a huge paradox, right? The very act of trying to get more productive can become its own special form of procrastination. So how in the world do we break out of that loop? Well, first we have to give this feeling a name. Let's call it the productivity paradox. It's that strange sensation of being surrounded by tools and information that are supposed to help, but you just end up feeling more stuck than ever. So let's dig into why this happens, and then we'll get to the solutions. The very first step, and this is before you download any apps or write a single to-do list, is to find your North Star. This is all about getting crystal clear on your why. Because here's the secret. Productivity isn't about doing more things. It's about doing more of the things that actually matter to you. To figure that out, let's start with a classic idea from Stephen Covey. He split everything we do into two buckets. You've got urgent tasks, the stuff that screams for your attention right now, like a ringing phone. But then you have important tasks. These are the things that move you toward your long-term goals. The trap we all fall into is living in the urgent while neglecting the important. The real key to a productive life is flipping that script. Gary Keller takes this idea and really zooms in on it with his concept of the one thing. The whole idea is that you get extraordinary results by narrowing your focus down to a single point. You have to ask yourself, what's the one thing I can do so that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or even unnecessary? When you find that, it gives you the clarity to say no to all the other distractions. 4,000. Just look at that number. Let it sit there for a second. What on earth could it possibly represent when we're talking about productivity? It's the number of weeks you have in your life, on average, if you live to be 80. The author Oliver Burkeman uses this number to completely reframe the conversation. See, the goal isn't to be a machine cranking through an infinite to-do list. The goal is to consciously decide how you're going to fill those precious few weeks with meaning. It's not about doing everything, it's about doing the things that count. Okay, so once you've found your North Star, you know what's important. Great. Now you need a system to actually manage the work. This brings us to the how of it all, and there are really two big schools of thought to choose from. On one side, you've got Capture Everything, which you probably know as Getting Things Done, or GTD. This is all about getting every single task out of your head and into a system you trust. On the other side, you have Schedule Everything, or Time Blocking, which is about giving every minute of your day a job. There's no right answer here. It's about finding what clicks with your brain. This quote from David Allen, the creator of GTD, is the absolute heart of the Capture philosophy. Your mind is for having ideas, not for holding them. He argues that all our stress comes from trying to juggle and remember everything. The idea is to offload all those open loops so your mind is totally free to just focus on what's in front of you. So the GTD method follows 5 basic steps. You capture everything that has your attention. You clarify what it is. You organize it. You reflect on your system regularly, and then, and only then, can you fully engage and just do the work, knowing you're working on the right thing. It's basically like creating an external brain for yourself. Now, the alternative is time blocking. This is the method that people like Elon Musk and Cal Newport are famous for using. Instead of a to-do list, you plan your day in advance by assigning specific time blocks for each task. You see, a to-do list tells you what to do. A time block schedule tells you when and where you're going to do it. And here's what that looks like in the real world. You can see how every minute of the day has a mission. By turning your intentions into a concrete plan, you're way more likely to actually get it done. It's the ultimate defense against Parkinson's law. You know, the idea that work just expands to fill whatever time you give it? Not anymore. So, You know your why. You've picked your how. The last piece of this puzzle is mastering the doing. This is the final battlefield. This is where you win or lose the war against distraction and procrastination moment by moment. The key concept here is deep work, a term from Cal Newport. It's the ability to focus without any distraction on a tough mental task. We're not just talking about putting your phone away. We're talking about creating an environment where you can push your brain to its limits. And honestly, in our distracted world, this skill is basically a superpower. So how do you get started? Well, this quote, usually attributed to Mark Twain, gives us an amazing strategy. Eat a live frog first thing in the morning, and nothing worse will happen to you the rest of the day. Your frog is your biggest, ugliest, most important task, the one you're most likely to procrastinate on. Do it first. Get it out of the way. The rest of the day will feel like a victory lap. And to maintain that intense focus, the Pomodoro technique is beautifully simple. You just work in focused 25-minute sprints. When the timer goes off, you take a short break. You repeat that a few times, then take a longer break. It's like interval training for your attention span. It keeps you fresh and turns massive projects into manageable bites. All right, we have covered a ton of ground here. We've gone from the big picture why to the systems for how and the techniques for doing. But the final and maybe most crucial step is realizing that the destination here is totally personal. At the end of the day, there is no single holy grail of productivity. The best system isn't GTD or time blocking. The best system is the one you will actually stick with. The real goal is to become a chef, not a cook, to take these ingredients and principles and build a flexible, custom system that works for your life and your brain. So let's just recap the whole quest. 1. Find your why. Prioritize what's important, not just what's urgent. 2. Choose your how. Are you a capturer or a scheduler? 3. Master your focus. Use deep work and the Pomodoro to win the daily battle against distraction. And 4, most importantly, be flexible. Design and adapt the system that is uniquely yours. Which brings us right back to the beginning. Your 4,000 weeks, they're ticking. So I'm going to leave you with this one question to think about. What is the one thing you will make time for starting today?